Hey, what's going on, guys? Greg here today, bringing you guys a Call of Duty Modern Warfare gameplay commentary. Today what you guys are watching is a 138 kill game with the Ram-7. One of my subscribers said they wanted to see some Ram-7 gameplays, so I decided to go out and get some. And it's kind of a sloppy gameplay because I choke a few streaks and stuff like that, and it could have been a much better gameplay, but it turned out that there was just a lot of unfortunate deaths that happened, just some timing issues, stuff like that. I haven't really been playing much COD the past few days just because I've been focusing on some other things, schoolwork, yard work, just weightlifting, all these other kinds of things I've just been doing the last few days. And basically, so I'm going to go ahead and go over for this gameplay what I was doing and stuff like that on New Palace for ground war. As you guys saw, on the beginning of the match, I ran down the left lane, and the reason I do that is because I feel like that's a really good route you guys can run right off the rip. And the reason why is because generally people with quads start to go there. Everyone likes to try to go for C right off the bat. Usually a few players from each team will do that. And the reason why C is key on this map, and the reason I say that is because kill streaks will do the most work if you own C, because the enemies can't be spawning inside, and this is pretty much the only building that's truly indoors, since all the other buildings are really small and people generally tend to spawn outside on those other maps. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say here is that if you're running these higher kill streaks like the chopper gunner, the VTOL, the support helo, the gunship, white phosphorus, all those kind of streaks, is they can do a lot more work for you if you own the C flag, just because the enemies will not be able to spawn inside. But right here, it's unfortunate I was not able to save C. And generally, teammates that I get don't really understand C is key, and then we usually just end up losing C. And all game long, it's just usually a battle of me fighting for C, which will happen a few times throughout this gameplay. But that first chopper gunner was really poor. It didn't get me a lot of kills, and the reason it didn't get me a lot of kills simply because these guys were shooting down streaks, and that's something that's really bad about the support helo, is it doesn't have a lot of health, even though it can do a lot of work. The problem is if they're spawning indoors, or they are really just good at shooting down streaks and are using FMJ or cold-blooded or whatever, then they're just going to roast the support helo and the chopper gunner out of the sky like instantly, because they don't have a lot of health. Something like the white phosphorus, the gunship, or honestly even something like tank or something could do a lot more work on this map than some of these air support streaks you guys will see me using. But overall, I decided to switch up my kill streaks up a little bit. I took off the white phosphorus just because I wanted to have one controllable streak in for the gameplay, and that's one of the things I've been really enjoying doing for the channel, is using different types of kill streaks and stuff in my videos just to make things a little bit more interesting. Right here, I'm actually going to get executed because I was trying to go for a cheeky kill and attack insert. There's a guy that flanked me with an MP5 and dead silence, and he got me with the execution. But again, all I'm trying to do until we have C on lockdown is basically just play C, try to get that C flag captured. And this is what you want to be doing throughout the match of Anya Palace and Ground Wars. You basically just want to be getting this C flag over and over again and making sure that your team is going to be able to have their kill streaks do the most work possible. Also, something that's really unfortunate about if you're playing Ground War is the DEFCONs. And the reason I say DEFCONs are very unfortunate is just because I've lost a lot of 100+s and even potentially like 150+ kill games due to DEFCONs. And generally, whenever the lobbies are really good, like let's say you get a really good lobby and the enemies are not super sweaty, generally, like if I'm putting up a lot of streaks, my teammates will just run in and start capturing flags, and it ends in a DEFCON, and that kind of screws up me getting really good scores. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is. Anyways, running back to C here because they're taking it again. Look at this. This guy was actually still there. There was like another guy there on the C flag. That's actually insane. Like, a lot of people will spawn on their teammates, and like you won't even know that they're spawned there because the timing. Like, so here's the thing about spawning in Ground War, right? Like, let's say you spawn on your teammate, right, and it will say like in combat. And that's what happens to me, like, all the time, is I see that someone's in combat, so I'm not going to spawn on them or whatnot. But I tend to, like, kill people, and then all of a sudden, the enemy spawns in right there after I killed the guy. And it was a guy that was spawning on his teammate. And I'm not really quite sure why that happens, but it does. And normally, you know, you think if someone's taking damage, it would say in combat. And I really think the spawning system is just really weird overall in Ground War, because the times that you can spawn in and not spawn in, like, just things are really strange with it, and I really wish they would work it out just a little bit better. But Anyways, this chopper gunner was much better. I think it's like a 13 kill chopper gunner, and that's one of the things about the chopper gunners and gunships and ground wars. Whenever you're calling them in, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the enemies, like I said, on this map, they don't have C. You want to make sure the only flag they have is not, of course, going to be A or E, and then, because then you don't want them in the main HQ. And right there, how are they shooting me through that, but I couldn't shoot back through them? I was so confused. Maybe that's a window that's blocked off. I wasn't really paying attention, but yeah, you want to make sure that they have B, C, or D, especially on your palace. You want to make sure they have B or D and not C, and the reason being is just so you can get all those kills on people that are spawning outside, and you'll get better angles, because the angles, whenever people are in their spawn, like let's say the main HQ or A or E is the gunship, and some of the other streaks might not have the best angle to get into them. So the chopper gunner does have the advantage there over the gunship, but the problem with the chopper gunner is that weak health and can be killed by bullet damage, whereas the gunship cannot be shot down by bullet damage. So just keep that in mind whenever you want to run some streaks and stuff like that. As for this Ram-7 setup, again, we're playing ground war, so I'm going to be going for a little bit of a slower class, and the reason I'm going for a little bit of a slower class is just because I want that range. And what I mean by range is, so because I said the Ram-7 kicks up and to the right, and it's really, really hard whenever it kicks up and to the right, and it's kind of hard to control. What I like to do is I like to have the longest barrel on, which I believe is the XRK Ranger or something it's called. It's basically, it gives you recoil control, it gives you bullet velocity, and bullet damage range. And the reason I like this barrel is simply because of that recoil control, and it can really help you, especially whenever you're running something like stopping power, to give you that extra damage over range, which is extremely, extremely good in ground war. So basically I have that on to help me control the recoil a lot easier, and then I have the Commando foregrip just because I really like the extra aiming stability it gives you, as well as the horizontal recoil control, so that way you can just focus on controlling that pattern and not have to worry about compensating for the side-to-side kick. And then I also have the tactical suppressor on because the monolithic suppressor would slow down the gun a little bit too much, and I have stopping power on, so it's not really going to be that big of a deal if I'm have like one or two more bullets to kill or whatever from the ranges that the monolithic suppressor might add, but the stopping power is going to cut down the time to kill anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You guys get what I'm trying to say. And then I believe I have the 50-round magazine simply because it's ground war. You're going to be running into a lot more people. You want to try to stay alive, make sure that people are not going to be able to take you out because you ran out of bullets in your clip. So extended clips are always good in ground war, not so much 6v6 and 10v10. And then last but not least, the stipple grip tape, just to give me a little bit more ADS speed and sprint out time. So that's my Ram-7 class setup for this, and I honestly think it's probably one of the best Ram-7 class setups for ground war, and even in 10v10 you could probably get away with using this. It's not super slow, but it's also not like super fast either, and I don't really think the Ram is designed for long range anyways because of that really hard recoil control, or the really hard recoil it has going to the right. So I would say that the Ram is really best for close quarters, so it might be better to even kit this gun out for close quarters instead of range like I was doing. But again, ground war, you can't always trust that the enemies are going to be close up because your teammates will want to capture flags, and the only way to truly get close quarters gunfights in ground war is to be where the enemy's flag is and trying to capture it, or trying to, kill people that are spawning in around it. So I would definitely recommend that you guys kit your Ram depending on what kind of game mode you're going to be playing. Also, again, if you guys want to get more kills, just die once you get all your kill streaks. That's what I'm doing. I'm not really going for nukes right now. I have 98 total tactical nukes, and I will be trying to get for 100 eventually. Right here, just watch this. Oh my goodness, did I get lucky right here, and I escaped that. And this is actually going to give me a really fast streak. And like I said, this gameplay could have been so many more kills if I would have just taken my time maybe on a few more areas or just played a little bit smarter, but I was really just trying to play fast-paced too, because it gets boring watching, me sitting in a building or whatever. But honestly, that's how ground war's played, and everyone plays that way. As you can see, I got two teammates just sitting in the same window, just staring at enemies. And this is literally like the world's longest support helo. I was about ready to bite my nails getting this support helo here, because everybody just kept taking the kills. Enemy chopper gunner taking the kills. Actually, that was my friend's chopper gunner I was playing with, but it was just like nerve-wracking because I'm like, come on, I just need to get this because this is a good game. It's a good score so far. Like, I really need to get this. And it's hard to get those VTOLs up in ground war sometimes because almost everybody in this game runs the VTOL, because it's like that mid-streak that's really good and effective and gets you a good amount of kills. Good bang for its buck. And a lot of people run it, so trying to get VTOLs up can be hard, and that's why sometimes I like to run, like, you know, the White Foss, the support helo, and a gunship. And I was originally trying to get some gameplay with that, but I just kept, like, getting my White Foss or support helo, choke the gunship, stuff like that. And I don't use kill chain when I use that setup. I like to use quick fix, so yeah, it was just unfortunate. And then the one game I played, I died 5 off a nuke because my friend spawned on me without hardline, without ghost. He had hardline on. And the enemies all started targeting that building, and we ended up getting DEFCON that game. Would have been so good if I got that nuke, because it was like an 82-3, but we lost, and I'm not really gonna upload a loss because yeah, what's the point of getting a lot of kills if you lose, right? But anyways, overall, like I said, the Ram's not a bad gun. It's really best for the closer range maps, and that's what I recommend doing with it. And I do like the gun. It's just that I find other guns a lot more fun to use in the game than the Ram, and it's not a bad gun at all. It's a very, very good gun. It's competitive with the M4 and the Grau on 6v6 and 10v10, but for ground war, I still think the 7.62 weapons are just so much more fun. And honestly, I just have so much more fun using the 7.62 weapons in this game. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you have more fun using the 5.56 guns, or do you like the 7.62 weapons? And personally, I like the 7.62 weapons just because they have more damage, and they also have a lot more recoil, so in my opinion, I feel like I'm using something a little bit more skillful. You know, it's harder to control, and it feels more rewarding whenever you get those kills than, let's say, like an M4 or a Grau or something like that, because those guns, like, virtually have no recoil, and they're just so easy to use. But I don't know, I always just love 7.62 weapons, and every single Call of Duty game in the past, I've always been someone who's loved the AK-47 to death. And that was especially the case back in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. I absolutely love the AK-47 in those games, so, you know, it's just like, coming to this game, and Black Ops 1 too, can never forget the Black Ops 1 AK-47, what a freaking tank. But, anyways, yeah, I don't know, personally, I just love the 7.62 weapons, and that's why I upload so much SCAR and AK-47 gameplay. They're probably going to be my most used weapons at one point in this game, because the AK-47 is already about to pass up the M4 on my combat record as the most used weapon, so can't wait for that to happen anyways, because like I said, I love the AK-47 so much more than the M4, just because it's just fun to use. And anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay. 138 kills, 10 deaths, I think like 11 defends, and decent amount of captures. Can't read the number, too small on my screen right now. But anyways, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Let me know what you guys think of the 5.56 versus 7.62 weapons. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any gun suggestions or whatever, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.